The reason we need to know the position is because you're going to be doing some rounding. When it says round to the nearest 10, you have to identify the number in the tens position, which in this case is a 3. Anything after that you're going to change to a 0. So I'm going to write it as 4,030. So when I'm rounding, I'm trying to decide, does it say 4,030 or does it round up to the next 10, which would be 4,040, right? I'm rounding that number in the tens position up by 1. In order to decide, we look at the number after the tens position. If it's 5 or higher, we round it up. If it's 4 or less, we leave it alone. Since this is a 3, which is 4 or less, we leave it at 4,030. So 4,033 is between these two values, but it's closest to 4,030. So if I'm rounding 98,817 to the nearest 100, the 8 is in the 100 spot. So do I leave it 98,800 or do I round it up by 100 to 98,900? So I look at the number right after the 100 spot. Again, if it's 5 or higher, I round it up. If it's 4 or less, I leave it alone. Well, 1 is less than 4. So again, I'm going to have 98,800. 98,817 is between these two numbers, but it's closest to this one. Number 6, if we look at that one, 7,362,841 to the nearest 1,000. So the number in the thousands position is the 2. So do I leave it 7,362,000 or do I round it up to 7,363,000? Notice the 2 was in the thousands position. I rounded it up by 1. Now I have to look. I look at the number right after that 2. It's an 8. If it's 5 or higher, I round it up. If it's 4 or less, I leave it alone. 8 is higher than 5, so in this case, I have to round it up. So 7,363,000 is what it's closest to.